Thank you, thank you, thank you. Testing. Everybody hear me? Great. So I own the nation's oldest comedy theater, right? And we're always testing our audience to make sure they're engaged. So a little bit more applause. Let's go, huh? Come on. It's that time of the day, right? We want a couch. We want a good old movie. I like a fan in my face when I'm taking a nap. I get it, right? But we got to decide we're just going to pump it up anyway. So we're going to spend the next 25 minutes diving into the world of improvisation. And some of you hear that and say, wow, why didn't I have a root canal scheduled for this time? Because I would rather have a root canal than do improv exercises in front of my peers, right? So a couple of things. We'll use the art form of improvisation as a metaphor, as a model. We'll ask the question, what are the conditions, the skills, but most importantly, the mindset that improvisers use to be able to do their simple formula? And their simple formula is just this. They listen to what their customers need, they create a team, they ideate, they create role, they create action, and then they deliver that in an innovative way in 2 to 3 minutes while their customer's watching the whole time. So there's some real-world applications in just the speed at which we work, okay? So we're going to dive into that, and a couple things that should put you at ease. Everything we do today is going to be volunteer. So if you want to do an exercise, you don't have to. I've never figured out how to kind of scare people and engage them at the same time. It just doesn't work, all right? And then the next thing is we're going to try to spend our time together bridging it to the meeting industry, bridging it to your daily work. Because if you want to learn improv, there's plenty of great places in this town, in this state, or come to Minneapolis for gosh sakes. But you're not here to learn improv. You're here to have an enriched day that helps you go back and do what you're passionate about. So we'll begin. A couple things. We use the term declaration in the first 5 to 10 seconds of a scene. In the first 5 to 10 seconds, we need to be able to declare our point of view, what we're trying to accomplish, who we are, what role we'll play with ourselves, our teammates, and most importantly, our customers. So here's a couple of declarations. First one, gratitude. Personal gratitude, because I grew up on the first half of my life on a dairy farm. So I woke up this morning thinking, I'm going to get on a flight in Minneapolis at 6 o'clock. I'm going to go to Atlanta. There's going to be free food, and I won't milk a cow or shovel shit all day long. So I'm pretty grateful to be here, all right? And you'll see that gratitude will show up in a lot of people when they embrace this improvisational mindset of discovery. And I believe that when you're in that mindset, things show up a little bit easier. You listen a little bit more. So I'll tell you 3 specific things that I wasn't expecting that I'm really grateful for today. I have 85 employees at our theater, okay? And I speak a lot in the hospitality industry. Hilton's one of my best clients. And I'm constantly talking about improvisation can help customer service. I didn't expect that Keisha, are you still here, Keisha? She's shy. There she is. I didn't expect that Keisha would listen to me so well today and know that I come from a family of 8 kids and we don't ever waste food at the Sweeney family, and that I don't like fish. I don't eat fish. And then I would just want some chicken. And I wouldn't believe that she heard me so well that, you know what she did? She brought me some chicken. And what she doesn't know is that now, when I go back tomorrow in our all-company meeting at the Brave New Workshop, I have another great example about how listening to your customers, being in that mindset of discovery, doing a lot about what you talked about, this ability to just kind of have the confidence to get it done. I have an example and a story of that today. Okay, so thank you for that. I didn't know that I would come here today and get to see improvisation. I love to watch improvisation, and I rarely get to do it, so thank you for that. And then I got to learn about what it does to my brain. I've been improvising for 21 years, and I never knew it was doing that to my brain, so I learned something. And then maybe most importantly today, I didn't know that I would get an amazing gift. Every night at the Sweeney family, we have a family gathering before we go to bed. Sometimes we say prayers, but mostly we say, what was today's lesson? And so we have William, who's 11, and Michael, who's 8. And because of you, I learned about another Michael today. And so tonight, I won't get home till 11 o'clock, but we'll still have our Sweeney family daily lesson. And I'll be able to tell my Michael about your Michael. And I'll be able to tell my family about perspective and the gratitude that we need to have as privileged human beings in this country. And I'll talk to them about your service and your lifelong mission. And I'll encourage our family to do something similar as much as we can. So I'm grateful for what you've all given me today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't have a lot of this, so I have to put it in a slide. Here's what I mean by this, because I'm genuinely not humble. I think I'm pretty awesome, okay? But when I was in the real world, I used to go to events like this, and I would hear speakers, and they would stand up in front of me and say, although I've never done what you do, if you just follow my 5 simple steps, you'll be better at job, get a promotion, make $1 million, have a hot wife, buy real estate with no money down, whatever the hell they were selling that day, right? I don't want to be that guy. So all I want to do today is humbly serve you with some things that this art form and my clients have taught me, and some things that I hope you can take a couple things away and personalize them to serve you. I'm here to serve you today. And then finally, you've seen a little bit of this, but it's just going to get worse. I have a lot of energy. I've had 6 pots of coffee and 3 Ritalin. I'm ready to go today, people. All right? And I love what I do, and I love this art form, and I love serving people with it. So energy will be a lot of what you'll see today. Now, on a kind of trite note, yeah, it's you, rah, rah, it's let's go, let's go. And here's what it means to us on a less trite note as performers. It's part of our production process. It's not just, let's show up with passion today, everybody, you, rah, rah. It's not that at all. It's a skill, it's a tool, it's necessary for us to produce our products to gain the results we need in our business. Here's what that means in a practical way. We do scripted comedy for the first part of the show. You'll see that Saturday Night Live was based on our theater, okay? And that is a scripted show that we do the same every single night. If we do that show with a 6 out of 10 energy level, the 206 people in our theater are all Minnesotans usually, so they will golf clap. They'll say things like, real nice, yeah, that was good, you said a lot of things. They'll never, like New York, throw stuff at you, right? Even if you suck, they'll just not tell anyone. They'll passively aggressive say, well, I don't know if it was worth the money, that sort of stuff, right? Same script, same actors, same audience. All we do is change the energy to a 10. Standing ovation every single night. So you can't tell this guy that energy is this trite, how you show up at work. It's part of what we do, and it feeds, and it's an ingredient. So I hope you have energy. I promise I will give you everything I got. This is our theater. Whenever you're in town, just Sweeney at Brave New Workshop. I met you said that thing at Atlanta and all that stuff. So MPI, talk, whatever you want. And I'll just have tickets waiting for you. That's how easy it is. I own the joint. I can do whatever the hell I want. It's awesome, okay? Al Franken and Tom Davis were taken off our stage to go create Saturday Night Live. If you come to our theater, you'll see our corporate motto, promiscuous hostility, positive neutrality, which means we piss off Minnesotans one show at a time, and they keep coming back and giving us money because of that. It's an awesome business model, right? But it's scripted comedy, and we do 4 new shows a year. We haven't missed a weekend since May 10th of 1958, and we never will miss a weekend as long as I'm alive. My wife runs our school, 300 students now. None of them, hardly any of them want to perform improvisation. Almost all of them are professionals who take improv to work on their communication, their innovation, to change their mindset, to embrace innovation, to look at what they do through a different lens so they can improve. And then I spend all of my life, we average about 150 keynotes a year across the globe, taking what we know about improvisation and going to the best companies in the world. I wish I could tell you that we do these keynotes and training because we had a great strategy and I was insightful. I'd rather just tell you the truth. The man who started our theater, Dudley Riggs, he ran it for 39 years. 17 and a half years ago, my wife and I bought it from him. Then the internet hit. Then DVDs, then DVDRs, then YouTube, then Netflix, then every other reason why you won't come to live theater. Live theater ticket sales in the Twin Cities from 1998 to 2001 dropped 50%. We lost a third of our theaters. They went bankrupt. So I was 21 months behind in rent. I had 3 key employees that hadn't been paid in 6 months, and we had to figure something out. As you can see, I never shut up. I had some friends in the corporate world. Our students were telling us they were using these skills in the workplace. We started giving speeches for free if I would buy them lunch. Then we wrote a book. Now it's 70% of our gross revenues. It saved the theater. And it's because we had an improvisational mindset about reinventing ourselves. You heard 30 new things that are coming out, right? I was watching your bodies. Some of them were like, yes, absolutely. And some of them were like, oh, really? I'm going to have to change and do that? I felt the same way. I mean, it's going to be tough for me to do keynote speeches for 7 people. I need at least 14, right? I get it. So we're not, as humans, great at having this mindset of whatever we need to do to change. We changed because we had to. So we did a survey after 10 years of working with corporations. We asked them, how have we helped you? This was after we did 1,500 training events. How have we helped you and what's different? what they told us is that you didn't teach us how to improvise, but you did change our mindset. This mindset talk today came from what we learned from our customers. They told us that before we worked with them, their mindset was a lot of times this red stuff. And that during our session, and hopefully sustainably afterwards, the mindset was there. All of us have been in this place and in that place multiple times today. All I'm going to try to help you with today is give you some things that we can practice to spend more time over there. So of course we had to build a model, and to build the model we had to understand how organizations learn and how they kind of activate things, and we figured out there was 3 different parts of learning. You all know these. Oop, there we go. And what we kind of figured out is that the only way you're going to be able to spend more time in that mindset is to practice being in it. Here's where I get a little bit opinionated. Played pretty competitive college football, did 7 years in corporate real estate, 20 years in the arts. In athletics and in art, we spend 80 to 90% of our time practicing the skills we need to do to perform. In our world, we execute all day long. Sometimes we take pause like today, thank God for the organizers putting this together, and we pause and say, what can we do to get better? But let's all be honest. How many emails you got waiting for you because of today's pause? You'll be up till midnight. You're not going to start tomorrow morning going, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put together a program that I'm going to take 3 hours a day because I've got so much time on my hands, and I'm going to practice all these things I learned yesterday. No! And so I'm begging you to somehow figure out a way, and improvisation is one in a million ways, to practice some of these things, these 5 simple things that will help you be in that mindset a little bit more often. You're doing all these things already. It's just being more mindful of them. And these are the things that we have to do or we can't produce our scene. If you ask most theater people what would it take to produce a piece of theater, they might say a script, a director, rehearsal, props, and costumes. You saw some wonderful theater today. They didn't have any of those. But what they did have is their mindset of improvisation and their collaborative skills and this positive culture. It's just so wonderful to watch. They make something from nothing right away. And it made you all laugh. It all brightened your day. They had no tools. We don't have a lot of skills like accents and that sort of stuff. We just live in the moment. So I'm so grateful you got to see that today. So we practice this, and like anything else, let's say, someone might say, Sweeney, you should practice, eating differently and exercising more. That might be accurate, right? I get it. I don't practice that a lot. Why? Because it's uncomfortable. I don't have time. There's all these excuses. So if I'm going to ask you to practice these skills today, and I want to prove to you that I can be uncomfortable also, because it's going to be uncomfortable to get better at anything. And what we try to learn is how to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And to me, when someone says, I'm not willing to be uncomfortable, what I hear is, I'm not willing to learn or improve. Because I have never learned anything or improved anything in my life without a stage of newness, of uncomfortableness, of awkwardness. My 11-year-old William Joseph Sweeney, he's my inspiration. The kid has lost his mind for the piano. So his school only lets him practice with the right hand for the first 2 years, and this year they introduced the left hand. And this is the kind of kid he is. William, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Please, dear, I love you to death, but just stop. And it's beautiful, but he's got school the next day. He just wants to practice, practice, practice. So I want you to practice being uncomfortable. I'll give you an example, and I'm glad we had a couple of hours after lunch. This is an example where I was very uncomfortable, but our client needed us to do something, so we just got it done. If you know much about the Minnesota Timberwolves, you'll know that they're like the rest of our corporate clients who are involved in athletics. We have 6 professional sports teams in our client roster right now. All 6 of them suck at what they do. And I mean in a really, really big way. Like last year I was at a Timberwolves game going, I wonder if basketball is the first sport of these guys on the team. Because they don't seem familiar with the game, and have they met before, and that sort of stuff. They're horrible, okay? And so they hired us to do something that might get the crowd a little bit more energized and bring a little bit more levity, and so unfortunately we did this. So fortunately or unfortunately, we did 22 consecutive sports centers in a row. We were Fan of the Month and Fan of the Year on the Today Show, and the Star Tribune, our Minneapolis paper, had a headline the next day of Jiggly Boy Helps Wolves Beat Dallas, which is a moniker I've been proud of since then. So I won't make anyone take off their shirt and dance. If you want to, that's great, whatever, But we're just going to do 2 quick, and I mean quick because we have 4 minutes left, 2 quick exercises, and here this works. I just need, for the first one, I need 3 people to volunteer, and here's how we get volunteers. We ask for 3 people to join us here, and we clap until they show up. Here we go. Keep clapping. We just need 3. All right, we got 3. So this will be back to our brain work a little bit, right? I'm going to ask these folks a question to come up with 5 ideas. Every time they come up with an idea, you're going to be the culture of this organization, and you're going to count, because you want them to feel like, I come up with an idea, and that feels good. So idea 1, idea 2. I'm going to ask them the first question they're going to absolutely know the answer to. Then I'm going to ask them a different question in the second round, and we'll see how the brain works a little bit, okay? So how about 5 states in the United States of America?
Georgia.
1.
New York.
2.
Massachusetts.
3.
California.
4.
Idaho.
5. Very, very good. So I've asked that question 2,000 times, 99.9% of the time, the first state is the one that we're in. Always. That's what it wants to do. 5 cars, please.
Mini Cooper.
1.
Toyota.
2.
BMW.
3.
Jeep.
4.
And Mercedes.
5. Very, very good. 2,000 times I've asked that question, 99.99999. If they start with a brand, we will hear 5 brands. If they start with a model, we will hear 5 models. It's about 50-50, but whatever they start, I got $100 that says we'll hear 4 more, because that's what it wants to do. Ask Michael Xavier Sweeney for 5 cars. Blue, fast, dirty, mom, stolen, all right? And when your kid steals a car when he's in 1st grade, it's awkward, okay? How about 5 vegetables, please?
Yeah. Tomatoes.
1,
Potatoes,
2,
carrots,
3,
beef.
3,
Your
4.
mama says you got to eat a lot of these and broccoli.
5. Very, very good. All right, I love it. It will go to what it knows. In that case, a song, right? So culture. Anyone in the room have this thought? You know, I took some horticultural in undergrad, and it's a great song, and you're wonderful, kid. We love you. We love you. But tomato's actually a fruit. So you're wrong, and you're back to 1. That's what it sometimes feels like. Here's the deal. 85% of the 2,000 people have said tomato. Of the people who say tomato, half of them say it first. So Kit's not wrong. The flippin' FDA is wrong, and they should adjust their classifications to meet our reality. The one on the tomato is, make sure that when you're in a group of people and someone has the courage to come up with an idea, because they're just doing what they do, you make them feel good for coming up with the idea and hold off on the judgment just for a couple seconds, okay? So we asked a question, it went to its database. It's miraculous, it's fast, it's got a lot of parts. Maybe the frontal lobe processor, I don't know, I just like saying that. It draws down what it knows and what it's comfortable with, and it delivers. But innovation and new technology and new trends and new meeting planning is going to be things that aren't up here yet. So watch how that works. You are now the CEO of a toy company. Please give us the names of the 5 hottest toys that we have never, ever heard in our lives before.
Jujube Bears.
1.
Batwing Cruckles.
2.
Springy Dicks.
3. So many jokes. Let's go to 4 fast. Let's go to 4.
Winky Slinks.
5. The Winky Slinks, right? Perfect.
It was Dinks, by the way.
It was Dinks, yeah. And it has many different meanings. So really, really comfortable going to that space of the unknown. He demonstrated that, right? That's when we're in that spirit of discovery. Even when we're in that space, it will try to take over. He had a description and a noun 5 times in a row. He'll get in a pattern. We'll always get in those patterns. Innovation is what happens outside those patterns. How about, and again, I don't want to out you, but a closeted poet, so the names of the 5 poems that you're about to publish this fall.
I love vegetables.
1, the story of the tomato.
I love the boogie.
2, perfect.
Speaking is fun.
Yes, 3, perfect.
Videotaping for dummies.
Yes, 4.
And John Sweeney is winging.
All right, 5, that's right. At least I'm not a springy dink. All right. I've been called the worst. And again, we're so grateful, and since you have music in your life, we also should just announce one of the biggest rock band producers in our planet. Okay, Kit, tell us about the 5 hottest bands and what the name of the new bands are. We've never heard these band names before. What are they?
Get it now.
1, love those people.
Take it up.
That's right, 2, they're awesome.
Take it down.
Yep, 3, yep.
Go with me.
Yep, 4, I will.
And don't leave me.
5, we never will, Kit. So did you just see how even their bodies were different? Kit's so comfortable. She got her body into it. That's awesome. You need to kind of get this thing out of control when we're in that new space. We call it get out of your head. And on stage, we can't be in our head because if we come up with predictable, linear ideas, our audiences go away. They didn't pay $25 to come in and go, that's exactly what I would have said. Okay? I need 5 more volunteers real quick. You stay here. No, you stay here. Come on, 5 more. Hurry up. We got to go. I'm so far behind here. Woo-hoo! Almost there, almost there, almost there. Keep going. Come on. If you don't want to volunteer, that's why you should be on your way up. Woohoo! Come on. I need 2 more. Or I'll take off my shirt. I swear to God I will. Good. They're on their way. So here's the deal. This is more of a little bit more zen, all right? So there's ways to gather information to then innovate or to improvise. And a lot of those ways are through our brains or finding new pieces of data or trends or that sort of stuff. And then there's times where we simply need to gather information from somewhere else. Maybe that's emotional intelligence, maybe that's gut, maybe that's instinct. But I don't know many people besides improvisers who work that muscle to increase the confidence of accessing that emotional intelligence, trusting it, refining it, and using it. When you're an improviser, you don't have any of the other intelligence. You only have your emotional intelligence. There's no script. So we get really good at working that muscle, and this is how we do it. We're going to count to 10, but we don't know who's going to say what number next. It could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're not going to create a system because we're practicing how do we work as a group when we don't have a system, or as I like to call it, that day before the meeting starts. So we'll just kind of get zen-like, and the only rule is please only say the next number if you feel it. Not think it, feel it. And if you don't feel it, then it's okay just to be quiet and trust your gut, and the silence is actually okay. Someone will start and they'll say 1.
I wonder.
2,
4.
5, 6, 7.
Good. Here's the rule. When we hit 2 people talk at the same time, we fail, or as we like to say, take steps towards success, and we start over. So it might take us a couple times. Really, really good job. We'll get to 10. Good. Start over.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6.
7.
I ate it.
We're at 8. We did it. Good job. Have a seat. So a lot of people were thinking, what is wrong with these idiots, right? You wouldn't believe how many times, about 70%, when we get to 7, things slow down. We either screw up or we do what this group did. We just decide, I'm not going to be the one who's going to fail. And that mirrors many of our long-term processes. So when the client says, we're going to have a meeting in February and we're going to give you guys the business, let's get together and brainstorm. Those first meetings are awesome. The ideas flow and that sort of stuff. We need to pick a location. Okay, we need to pick a caterer. What about the speakers? What about the logistics? What about the flair? What about the travel? Now it's the week of. Now people are on pins and needles because we're at 7, 8, 9, 10, we made it. Then we get drunk and we sleep for 2 days and we go to the next one, right? Here's the thing we all ought to know. Mathematically, 1, 2, and 3 are exactly the same weight as 8, 9, and 10. We decide, it decides, to put more pressure on the 8, 9, and 10. When you're an improviser, 8, 9, and 10 is always. All 10 are at the same, because they're watching the whole time. So what we do is we just stay in that mindset of discovery. And so today, I just wanted to expose you to this mindset, give you some things to practice. BraveNewWorkshop.com, email me. I'm happy to, we got all these employees, they just want to spread this mindset throughout the world. And so thank you for laughing at us. Thank you for organizing this. Thank you for the gifts that you gave me today. And please laugh as much as you possibly can. Bless you all.